Hey guys, today I'm going to be reviewing / discussing Killer Instinct by S.E. Green. And yes, because of this, I went all dark on the eyeshadows. I wanted to be mysterious and evil. Killer Instinct is about a teenage girl named Lane who loves to study serial killers. She studies the way they kill, she studies their victimology. I learned that from Criminal Minds, and she likes to learn why they turned out the way they did. Lane believes her attraction to serial killers is because she herself is a serial killer in training. Lane spends her entire time at the courthouses so she can find criminals that she can punish herself. She's like a vigilante. Once again, Criminal Minds. A serial killer named the Decapitator strikes in her town. He contacts her. Any normal teenager would be scared out of their wits, but Lane is so excited that the Decapitator chose her to get involved. Then the Decapitator does something Lane is not okay with. He threatens her family. This is a girl that's a serial killer in training, and she's angry. Those two combinations don't really go hand in hand. But she also believes that the only way to stop the Decapitator is by her figuring out who it is. Because, let's face it, she thinks exactly like a serial killer. I gave this book an A+ because I absolutely loved it. The mystery, you guys, the mystery. I know I say this about every mystery book, but you really can't trust anybody. There's always something off about a character that makes you think that they are the Decapitator. This is a very dark mystery book. If you watch Dexter, I really suggest this book for you. It's kind of like that. I literally heard Dexter's voice in my head the entire time I was reading this book. The first chapter, the way it pulls you in was written so beautifully that I couldn't put it down once I started reading it. I'll read it to you. I'll give you a little snippet. I study serial killers. They're loners, obsessive compulsives, people who like emotion and fantasize about violence, intelligent people who on the outside seem normal. Did you like that first paragraph? That's right. I just made you want to get this book now, didn't I? I knew it. I knew it. It's weird reading from Lane's point of view though, because she's very apathetic. She doesn't really show a lot of emotions, because I'm so used to reading characters who wear their emotions on the surface, on their sleeves. I mean, they hide it from certain people, but let's face it, they don't hide it from themselves. Definitely going on my list of favorites for 2014. Like, this made the list. That's how good it is, and oh dear gosh, I really loved it. I really did. I wish I could own this book. But sadly it's a library book and I have to return it next week. I have to part with it. I love you. Now I'm gonna head over to the discussion section, and in the discussion there will be spoilers. So if this is the last part you want to be at, then I'll see you when you read it and then come back, okay? Bye. So like I said, mysteries. You can't trust anybody in this book. I absolutely trusted no one. No, I take that back. I did trust her mother. I know I've said this in the past in all the mystery books I've read, but you really can't trust anybody in a mystery book. It's like everybody's a suspect. You yourself, as you're reading a mystery book, you have to piece together the evidence that is given to you, and you yourself have to figure out who the serial killer or the bad person. For some reason I thought it was Lane, and she was the main character. You can trust Lane. I didn't trust her. It just came to my mind that Lane was a decapitator, that for some reason we were doing something with memory loss. She would go to bed, sleepwalk to a victim's house, kill them, go back to sleep, and that's the end of it. She's the decapitator. I don't know if you guys can see that, but I even made a diagram. I made a diagram of who was the decapitator. First person right off the bat that I thought was the decapitator, Dr. Isa. I think that's how you pronounce it. Dr. Isa. He has medical experience, and that's why, you know, the bones were so clean cut. He may be a vet, but he still has that medical experience of cutting into bones. Then it was Dr. Isa's brother. For some reason I thought it was that. Mostly because he kept popping up at the worst possible moments. The first time when she was researching the car accident that killed their classmate at the school, and he's like, my money's on her. She's, you know, she's lying. It's totally her. I don't believe her. And the second time, when he interrupted her researching that one guy who helped their housekeeper bring her brother over, then the red flag's like, okay, so he's following her, he's stalking her, he's probably the decapitator now. It all came down to Victor, her stepfather. Victor has been to all of the states that the decapitator has killed, and since he only kills once every year on September, it made sense at the time because he was part of the FBI. He could definitely forge papers in trying to cover up his crime. So then that was it. It was Victor. Then comes this whole mystery about Lane and who her real father is. And we get the story that her real father was actually in a mental institution and he killed his father, Lane's grandfather, because her grandfather was abusive towards her grandmother, Lane's father's mother. And it wasn't only her dad that had the mental issues, it was also her biological uncle. Knowing all of this, Lane figures out that it was genetic. She keeps referring to nature versus nurture. Lane talks about how she grew up normal. She always got what she wanted, you know, she had the love of two amazing parents, yet she turned out to be this girl who was a loner, who has urges to hurt other people, who considers herself a serial killer in the making. In her mind, she believes maybe it wasn't the nurture part, it was nature. That's just how she was born. But Lord behold, maybe it did have to be nurture after all. It really did get me thinking, you know, why am I the way I am? Is it because it's the way I was born, or is it because of the people that I surround myself with? So I think that's one of the mysteries in life. You never know why you are the way that you are, whether it be from nature or nurture. That was a really good concept to put into a book like this. Knowing this story about her biological father having mental problems and being in and out of mental institution, it got me thinking that maybe he was a decapitator along with his brother. The first time I started doubting her mother was when she kept changing her stories. When her stories never added up, I for sure thought that maybe she was hiding the secret for Victor, and it got me thinking that maybe it wasn't really Lane's biological father who was the decapitator. It never ever crossed my mind that Zach's ex-girlfriend was the decapitator because she seemed more confrontational. She liked the attention, and I'm sure if she was a decapitator, she would have been dropping hints to Lane. At this point, everybody thought the decapitator was Lane's biological uncle. And I didn't believe it. I really didn't. I still believed it was Victor, but then towards the end when Zach was kidnapped, I still didn't believe it. For some reason my mind was spinning and thinking Zach wasn't kidnapped. I think it's Zach and Dr. Isa who are the decapitators, and they're trying to lure Lane out to them. Then it's revealed who the decapitator is. In my peripheral vision, I catch movement and automatically reach for my taser. I yank it from my pocket, turn, and freeze. The decapitator nods. Hello, Lane. Welcome. I stayed on this page for a few seconds and I was like, okay, last guess. I thought it's probably Dr. Isa. Dr. Isa probably has this thing for Lane, but he won't admit it because of the age difference, and he has his brother there on the table because he can't deal with the fact that Lane and Zach are friends with benefits. He was gonna get rid of his brother first, but before that he wanted Lane to come in the picture so they can do it together. I turned the page and I read the first thing that says, which is chapter 35. And then I go down a line. Mom? It was her mother! When I read that part, it was about 2 o'clock in the morning. After reading this book, I will never trust a mother in a book ever again. Like, ever. Thank you, S.E. Green. Thank you. Now, I think the first guess is gonna be the least you expect, it's the mother. After I finished the book, I just sat there on the bed looking at the book, and it made sense now. It totally did, and I don't understand why I didn't get it before. I mean, all the signs were there, but I chose to overstep them because she was the mother. She's someone you trust. She's someone you blandly trust with your own life. And I mean, who would suspect it was the mother? I just can't believe it was the mother. Even to today, I just can't believe it was the mother, and I don't understand it, and I don't get it, and I don't know why, but I will never ever trust another book mother again. Anyways, that is all I have for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed this review / discussion, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!